Lockwood for Tioga. Willett Gaines, Pepper, Futrell, Washington for Grant. Scoring a little bit hard to come by early on, a little over a minute into this one, getting some of the kinks worked out, and here we go. Weird to be back in Tioga tonight. Haven't called a game from the reservation, well, ever. That three-pointer up and it is no good from Gaines. Called some in football and baseball, a lot of that, but I don't believe I've ever been back in this gym, gosh, since, what do they call that thing, baccalaureate?
Baccalaureate.
How about that?
Wow.
Since it's been a long time. Back in 19, yeah, anything that starts with a 19 is tough. Special guest going to join us on the show tonight. We're excited to do that. It's going to be a blocking foul. First foul of the game is whistled. It's going to send Troquil to the line. And they're going to whistle that on 25 as Washington. She picks up first personal foul of the night, first team here. See if Troquil can get things going in. And again, she picked up her 1,000th point, I guess, Chuck, about a week ago?
A couple of weeks ago, actually.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Just been waiting for that opportunity with different school breaks and whatnot.
Speaking of opportunities, not going to get it here as they whistled that on the floor. And back up top into the inside. Oh, there's a good block. That was Pepper that came up and knocked that one out of there. And there's going to be another foul whistled against Grant. This time it will be.
That's against Tioga.
Was it? Okay.
That's Lambert.
Yeah, they'll whistle that on Lambert, and Grant will keep it here, so she picks up her first personal foul. So I got a lot of stuff going on here. You looks like you got more here than you do for a football game production. Good pressure by this Lady Indians team. We saw them out at the Cenla Clash. The Cenla Clash was brought to you. You see the segue coming, brought to you by 1T Photography.
Yes.
1T on the floor tonight. Brett McCormick calling those, and check it out if you haven't, 1T Photography. Back inside, the Lady Indians have it. Still no score in this one as the clock ticks under 6 minutes. KK gets it inside. That's going to be a spin move there. It's up and in, and the game's first basket goes to Madison Lockwood. She's got her first two. The Lady Indians lead this one, and there's Grant trying to beat the pressure, throws that one down the floor, and it will go back the other way. Special Wednesday night edition of high school basketball. But that weather that we've had has just played havoc. Are you guys ever going to go back to school, Chuck?
One of these days, Martin, one of these days.
One of these days. Troquil doing a good job bringing it over the timeline. She's picked up right there by Gaines. Gets past her, switches left to right. But again, just constant pressure. This is a very well-coached ball club, and there's no doubt about that. Troquil thought about the three instead. She'll jump inside the line, bang that one around, no good. Dishmon pulls that board down. She gets a board in the bucket here, and it's 4-0 Lady Indians lead it.
Small in stature, but a big producer on the team.
Don't forget, coming up at the end of the game, we'll have a couple of things. We'll announce our Quibitos player of the game, and we'll have our Southern Air Cool play of the game. Both of those, as that three-point attempt is errant. A little bit of an echo. I don't know, Chuck, if you hear that, or is that ambiance, Mike?
That's ambiance.
Okay.
Yeah, just turned it down some.
Lady Indians, a couple of minutes into this one, only scoring in here. It was the two by Dishmon, the two by Lockwood. That's just a straight steal by Pepper. Now they're going to whistle that on KK after there. She's going to pick up her first personal foul. Second team. That's one of those that you just, you go back on, you see your scoreboard there, brought to you by Wallace. 4:46 remaining here in the first. Can't miss an opportunity, can you, Chuck?
Not indeed. No, indeed. Shall not.
Oh, there's a good job jumping into the lane. But Lockwood unable to get the steal. Swung over, going to the basket. That one up and no good. Good job by Lambert to stay in there and just get in the way of Futrell as she was going to the basket. You'll remember Lambert from that Tioga softball team, as a number of these ladies are out there.
Yeah, most of the girls do play multiple sports.
Troquil going to the line, hopping around, will draw the foul. This time should go to the line. See who they're going to whistle. Did not see who the foul was on, but we'll Catch that up for you there at halftime. Troquil goes to the line. She's got an opportunity for two. Banks off the front iron, goes in. Lady Indians. Troquil's second one gets out of there, but she's going to get her own rebound. Boy, had an opportunity at the board in the bucket, but got that one and missed the second half of it. That foul earlier was whistled on Willett. Willett, number 0. And KK is going to get her second personal foul early on. We'll see what that does for her. You certainly don't want to get her in foul trouble, and that will get Ashton Nick up off the bench and get ready to go. 5-0 halfway home in the first. Lady Indians in this team in a game that has been unkind to either of the shooters. There's a long-range 3 from the corner up, and it's no good. Rebound is controlled far side by Troquil, and she'll get her second rebound of the night. Cross court, it comes to Lambert. Lambert working inside, and that's just a good give and go. You will see Lockwood get her second basket of the night. Give Lambert the assist. Three from Grant up and no good, and there is Nick paying dividends. She comes in and gets the rebound. Big slate of basketball and soccer coming up before the week is out. A lot of that going on. Tune in, hit the subscribe button if you're watching us on 446 Sports YouTube. That's what you want to keep there. Oh, good work inside. Lambert working the assist angle, but unable to hit that one from point blank. Was Troquil. Had a couple of Grant Cougars on her, but it's 7-0. Held ball. It will stay with the Cougars. Chuck, do you like it a little bit better that you got somebody else helping on the dunk? So
it is much smoother.
Oh, good work jumping inside the passing lane by Dishman. She's going to be credited with the steal. That ball will be knocked away. Special alumni here at Tioga that will make their way down here, we believe. Oh, inside work. And that's a block. Good work by Pepper. That's her second block of the game. She blocks Nick inside. Now nobody's going to get to Ashton, but she's unable to put that one in. And point-blank points, you've got to be able to hit those and put these teams away. Gather yourself, take another moment, and go up strong under the basket. 2:27 to go here in the first. Tioga boys JV wrapped up a big win in their game. That one started, I believe, around 5 o'clock probably. And the boys are set to go and do battle here when this one is done. That will be after the ceremony. Long three. Another rebound pulled down by Nick. She's got a couple of them so far. So they will have the ceremony following the game that honors the 1,000 points from Abby Troquil. And we'll cover that for you here inside the Lockwood. She's going to go up. She'll be fouled. She'll shoot a pair. They'll whistle that on Willett. That is Willett's second personal foul also. That matches the 2 personal fouls by Caitlin. KK's got her 2, and that's what led her to an early seat on the bench. Rebound from Lockwood. Or correction, the first free throw by Lockwood up, and it's no good. Grant unable to find the inside of the basket. There's the pause and the shot. That one bounces back iron and no good. Rebound controlled by the Lady Cougars. And they will try to get it across that press of the Lady Indians, but unable to do so as Troquil is right there. Stops, pops, gets it. Still in the score for Abby Troquil. That's her first field goal. Give her 3 points here in the first. Pressure continues, 9-0 Lady Indians. Just what you wanted. Coach Johnson really's got her Lady Indians playing out there, and there's the first basket for Grant, and it comes 6.5 into this one, 9-2. Troquil brings it across the timeline, gets it inside. Now Nick's going to pull up from about free throw range. Unable to do that as a load of bodies hit the ground, but there's Dishman Naomi comes up and gets that. She gets her second rebound, second basket. She leads the Indian scores. She and Lockwood actually have 4 apiece. There is Lockwood trying to get in and cause some havoc here right before the end of the first. Spun around to the top, thought about the 3, did Gaines, but she'll pull it down and get it off to the side. That 3 up, and it's no good from Futrell. Under a minute to play, under 40 seconds, if you will. 11-2. Lady Indians lead this one as they've been the only ones able. It's been kind of one of those games that both teams have had some opportunities, and a few of them have fallen for the Lady Indians.
Yeah, kind of a slower start. And they've had this from time to time in a couple of their games, but Coach Johnson usually comes back afterwards and doesn't like those slow starts, and they usually come back with a vengeance.
Troquil back iron from the side of that one. Rebound is controlled by Lockwood. Long range 3. That one's up and it's no good. Over the back, no call is there, and that's going to do it for the first period of play. Lady Indians lead this one 11-2. We'll be back right after this. You're watching High School Sports on 446 Sports. Back courtside here at Tioga. Big red and black Tioga that adorns the center court here with the 2 feathers off to the side of the tee. Leading things away was Dishmont. She's got 4 points in the first. She and Lockwood combined to have 8. They each have 4. Troquil has a field goal and a free throw. A couple of rebounds. Lady Indians leading the rebounding battle here. They've got 8 already in that first quarter. Not a lot of second chance opportunities. Not any opportunities at all for the Cougars as they've got just 2. Back inside to Nick, and oh, there's going to be a foul, and she'll go to the line to shoot 2. See who they make their way over here and call this and give this to us. They'll whistle that on Pepper. That is her first personal foul, and that will send Nick to the line. She's going to shoot 2. First free throw is up, and it is just net.
Between last year and this year, watching Ashton Nick there shooting free throws, a big improvement already.
Boy, you had an opportunity for the all-time announcer jinx there, and it didn't happen. She fought through the jinx there. Here's that pressure by the Lady Indians. Boy, we see so much of that in girls basketball. And look, Nick going back the other way, and she is well on her way to turning some heads here. That'll get KK back in the game. And it will bring Ashton out of it. But those minutes that she had there when KK went out, there's a 3-0 on it. Rebound is controlled underneath, banging around for it. And Lockwood's going to come out of there with it, but they'll whistle her for the travel. So give her credit for the rebound, but then the turnover. Again, from wherever you're at, we invite you to check out girls basketball on 446 Sports. Got a number of games on the slate. That one knocked away, but Dishmont comes out of there with it. Well, we've been impressed with Naomi since we've seen her in that first game at Clash of the Sunlock Clash. Just a freshman, Chuck, is that right?
Just a freshman, yes, sir.
Oh, the lob inside. Boy, that was pretty play. Finishing that off was Lockwood. She's got 6. But the pass inside over the defense is what made that, and it is all Tioga in this one, 15-2.
That's a setup play you'll see often with Tioga Lady Indians.
There's Dishmont trying to knock that one away. Unable to do so. Grant slowing things down, trying their best to get some sort of half-court offense going. And that's not the approach there. It's just knocked away, bodied up, and fouled. See who they whistle that one on. They will give that to Lockwood, and that's just her first personal foul. First team of the second quarter. Bangs around off the back and no good. Your family getting settled back in. The bad news of it is you guys go back to school tomorrow here.
Right.
Had the long weekend. That one is
long weekend.
That free throw made by Washington, and it's 15-3. Lady Indians lead this one by 12. Well in command here, and foul's going to be whistled on Gaines, and that's a tough foul to take, as she was going right in against Troquil, and Troquil drives inside on it. Six and a half to go until halftime. Again, the ceremony will be after. That's a 2. It's long range, but Lambert clearly on the line. And that one bangs around, and Grant's going to come out of that, score that a team defensive rebound. Crowd starting to really fill up on that far side.
Show good support here for the Tioga Athletics.
Now, I always have, and they like to get out of the house. That means everybody's been cooped up for the last few days. It's been ugly and going to get worse as the rain makes its way back in. Going to be an ugly game next week. But the beauty of indoor basketball, unless you're at that other, then you don't normally get a rain out in basketball.
Which has happened this year.
And last year.
Yes.
Good ball movement back up top. Troquil's got it. The Southern Miss commit there in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. She will go there to play softball.
Right.
And, you get excited about watching her and those Lady Indians and Coach Woodard as they get going, not wanting to rush basketball out at by any means, but looking for another deep run from Coach Woodard and that Tioga Lady Indians softball team.
Yeah, I picked at him earlier last week. So I said, all you got to do is win one more game after the one you had. And you'd be something.
That's what I tell those folks that we interview swimming. I said, Dick, you wanna do better, just swim faster.
That's it.
Over to the corner, Troquil's going to spot up just inside the three-point line. It's no good. Lambert there to pull that one down. Back up top they go. Spun around. That's the spot that Lambert likes to shoot from, just inside three-point land, but unable to get it. Kicks this one back out. That one's for 3. Back iron again. Well, if the Lady Indians were able to knock down some of those long-range shots, this thing would be much bigger than it is. KK pulls that one down, gets her first rebound of the game. And a timeout is going to be whistled. 30-second timeout by the Lady Indians. There you get a good look inside with Coach Johnson. And Chuck starting to talk about our Quibidos player of the game, of course. Very impressed with the work that Ashton Nick did coming in off the bench when Caitlin went out of the game. But goodness, Lockwood's got 6 on the day, and Dishman's got 4. So a lot of basketball to go.
And a lot, I mean, they still have almost a magic number left on the scoreboard in this.
And look,
period,
the player of the game, Quibidos Cajun Cafe, just right up the road.
Oh,
Did you go by there and have the Couchon burger?
I did not have the Couchon burger yet because we were filling salads that day because we'd already had some fried stuff.
Well, in the Couchon burger's defense, it does have lettuce and tomatoes on it. Well, so that constitutes a salad in my book.
But we did have the grilled chicken magnolia salad. It is phenomenal.
There you go. But you said grilled.
Yes.
Back to action we go here. 4:35. Back top goes KK. She's got it spun around. Ishmael's going to go to the basket. That one's up and no good. Rebound controlled out of there. Very active Washington has been here in the second. A couple of rebounds. That one basket to the one free throw. Turnover. Lady Indians come out of there with it. halfway home in the second period of play back up top. Troquill's got it. Again, we were talking about her. Great to visit with her pregame. Just smile doesn't go away at all. But, boy, she's out here on the court and just as intense as you see anybody. But never stop smiling, especially when she started talking about that commitment to Southern Miss and playing softball up in Hattiesburg. Spun around now, trying to work it inside. Good move, but unable to get out of there. And there's another rebound by Washington. Well, Lockwood had a shot at it, but Chuck just unable to finish a couple of times.
She's usually a lot more sure-handed on those shots down there.
Well, you know, you got to love seeing that. They let them play on the ground and didn't go to that quick whistle of a held ball, and I like that. Defense extended. They're coming all the way out on Troquill as that man playing dividends. There's a big steal. That was Futrell. Top of the key now for three. That one draws nothing. Will hit the back pad and bounce around on that off-mark shot from Gaines. And back into the game for the Lady Indians is Ashton Nick. She will make her way back in. 3:11 to go. Again, a special guest going to come up and we hope finish off a lot of the game with us. Name is around on a lot of those banners in the foyer. That three up and no good. And there's Nick just continuing to do work underneath. She's 4 rebounds and 2 points here in this one. But the work underneath has been solid as that 6th man, if you will. Spun around there. Now Lambert's got it. Inside, there's that lob move, Chuck, that we talked about that they like to do. That's Lockwood again. Lockwood now has 8, but the ability to find Lockwood down low in that precision. She's had a couple of assists have come her way. And 233, see it on the Wallace Eye Associates scoreboard here. It's been a big start by the Lady Indians. And, man, when I told you we had a special guest with us, we welcome in Tioga legend Julie Wilkerson joins us here, and welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Look, we're walking around this here. That one is up, and it's good. First field goal for Grant in this, and we'll talk more about – we'll stay here at halftime. We'll talk about this, but when's the last time you've been able to get on the mic and call a game?
Probably since – just after I'd graduated from Louisiana Tech.
There you go. And look, we're going to talk about what a storied career you had up there. Of course, here at Tioga, heading to the basket there. And we'll see who they whistle that foul on. So glad that you were able to come out and join us tonight, too. They will whistle that on Willett, and that is going to be her 3rd personal foul here, picking up in the first. And, boy, it's the struggles that Grant has had. You don't want to get their starters in foul trouble.
No, and I saw her dad and mom in the stands. You know, her dad is the judge at Grant Parish. So.
I think they need to take that into account.
We should.
At
least the referees, maybe.
That's right. You got to watch that. Saw that from Dishman. Following up the work of the freshmen. I know you've seen sometimes you get those freshmen that just come in and make a difference, and it doesn't matter what classification it is.
No, that's what's good. In fact, I was a freshman and started, so I appreciate the young ones getting a chance to start.
That's right.
You got to earn it, though.
Going to be an offensive foul that is whistled there. They will call that on Lockwood, her 2nd. She's had a great game, 8 points, but 2 fouls here in the 2nd. And 18-5 in this one as KK checks back in. You got to appreciate him out near midcourt, setting screens and still creating with a big lead.
Yes, and I think the ball's going to start dropping for them better. They've just been kind of cold this first half, but you know what? The defense, and that's what's always important, creating the turnovers and playing tough defense.
Well, we've talked about that, and you see the good work that's being displayed out here. They've not backed off from a bit of it, and had some of those point-blank baskets went, they'd be right in this one.
That's exactly right, and they've rebounded well. I saw some really good blockouts.
1 minute until halftime. You see it on the Wallace Eye Associates scoreboard. It's 18-5. Doug Gann, Chuck Perkins, and a special guest joining us here, Julie Wilkerson. Again, that one thrown out of bounds.
Those cross-court passes are hard.
It's difficult.
Most of the time, if they're on point, they usually get intercepted too.
Well, and that's what I guess the idea is. You're getting it up over the hands of the defender that's close to you, but by then it sails up about 3 rows.
that one was at least.
At least, that's right. We round down.
You know, that's good trapping, though.
Well, you use the 2 players and the sideline
Yes.
that's on there, too. 47 seconds to go. Grant gets the timeout in here and trying to work on things, always coaching towards the end, because basketball is as much a game of runs as anything that you'll play.
It is, and it looks like he has a number of young players. And so every opportunity you can take to coach and to instruct is important.
One of those things that's important, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, and we'll get into it at the halftime, how important is it for these young ladies or young athletes to play more than one sport? I know you did it and excelled in it, but what do the colleges look for in that?
You know, I think they look at that. Here's one. My sport was basketball, but I had played softball all my life, and when we got the team, it was just natural. I love softball, too. Now, basketball was my number one, but they look at an all-around athlete.
What a story that is, too, when we got the team and the state championship banner. We're going to talk, well, they might have to extend halftime for us. It might be one of those homecoming halftimes where they lengthen it out.
They tease me. I can talk now. And, you know, I had the opportunity to visit with Abby when I was on the committee to select the Senior of the Year at Tioga, and it always makes me so happy to see our athletes. We had 2 student athletes, one of the little Roland girl,
Zoe,
and then Zoe. That's exactly right. And both have scholarships.
Yeah, and isn't that great?
That's
Zoe
great.
Committing to go play at Grambling,
Yes.
and then and softball too, and Abby going to Southern Miss to play, and that is just that speaks volumes.
It really does, and it's to be a student athlete is to be a special college student.
Look, that's good work inside to Ashton.
That was a great pass in, and that was a good posting up.
So here's what you can keep an eye out on for us, too. We award our Quibitos Player of the Game after each game on there, too. So that's one thing that we'll look at. This is normally where we would go to commercial break, but we're not doing that. We're not going to do that at all. We told you that Julie Wilkerson has joined us here. And I've got so many things that I'd like to ask you and talk to you about. Of course, you're wearing the Louisiana Tech.
I'm saving my Tioga Lady Indians. I have a few of those, because when I coached here, I noticed they still have her banner over there.
That's right. Look, they don't go away. And speaking of banners, I look around there and your name is it's everyone there. Tell me about that state championship in '78, the softball one, because it was the first team.
It was the first team, and then we were able to repeat in '79. But Ward 10 had an outstanding recreation,
right,
girls softball and boys baseball, and we competed against each other, the different teams. Now, we had a pretty good Passo's Garage with
there's a shot of you in front of some of those banners at Louisiana Tech also. We're going to get to that in just a second, too, as that popped up on there. But finish telling me about that softball here at Tioga.
We had played against each other, and then we had Kathy Matthews was a great coach, and in fact was inducted into the Tioga Hall of Fame. But we'd all played growing up through Ward 10, and when the opportunity came, you had a bunch of athletes, some of whom had also played basketball, but many who were just good athletes. It
Right.
made you cheerleaders. We didn't have track or anything. The cheerleaders were Kim Sexton could play third base, not a position I wanted to play, and she could nail that ball from third base to first base.
In no other sports, so they had to come out and do it. That is great. But basketball, you started here and then went to Louisiana Tech and played up there with Coach Hogg, Coach Barmore, who would go on to just be a superstar. Had some pretty good talent on that team alongside you.
We had some outstanding talent, and the funny thing is they had put Tech on the map the year before with all Louisiana girls, mostly from, the big town of Saline, Louisiana, the big town of Columbia.
From downtown, the parade in downtown Saline was, that's right.
And Lake Providence, and Gina, and,
that's right.
And Tioga. Do you realize that Tioga had a girl on the first Louisiana Tech basketball team in Mary Nell Robertson, and then we had Kay Ford, and she graduated the year that I started at Tech, my 4 years. And when I left, no more Tioga High School there, but we started it out for many about 12 years. So.
See, so let's get off of all of the but what's happened to the small town players? Because there's a lot of small town players, but in this day and age, you're not seeing them out there anymore.
You know, some of it is there's not as much going to the games and watching a player. Miss Hogue used to come to our games.
Right.
You know, you knew she was there.
Yep.
She had her mink coat on and
That's
coming
right.
through. But I think you've got to have an opportunity to play some AAU ball to get your name out there. And it's coaches are looking. I know I was listening to where the players for Louisiana Tech last weekend, where they're from, and there's some small towns in Texas. There was Denham Springs,
Right,
And I
okay.
talked to the young lady from Denham Springs because they still know Marzula down there from Peabody. They still know Becky Lowe
That's
from
right.
Gina.
That's
and
right.
So, but I think it's that the game has changed some where they're looking at their recruiting, and it's hard. Playing AAU is a commitment.
You bring up a huge point with AAU basketball. There's travel baseball now,
Yep.
and I don't want to be the one that says that it's about the money, but you're taking these athletes, and this guy's saying, well, look, my summer league now team is more important than your high school career, and that's driving some head coaches crazy.
And it is, and I don't know that it's fair to the kids,
That's right.
because again, you have a completely different group of athletes playing softball versus the basketball. Now some of them they do
Right.
bleed over the same ones. I remember when I coached at Menard Junior High, the basketball team. They taught me into coaching softball, and I had some of the same athletes, but I got to know another group of athletes, of young ladies
That's right.
and coached, and so.
I don't think you have it. You hear the term now, recruiting the hallways. It's because these kids are not. They're a baseball player,
Yep.
or they're a football player, or they're a basketball. And we were at a camp that we did, or a Gridiron All-Star game, and they went up and asked one of the players, well, what are you running in track? I don't. Well, what else do you do? Nothing. That's tough.
And track is such a good, from the standpoints of endurance and speed and training. Doing the training.
Because you get different muscles that you'll work when you're sprinting. Those twitch muscles, which go into everything you do.
I played almost every minute except whenever we were
Right.
really a
Right.
half. One game played halftime until halftime, but when I would finish a basketball season, we'd go right into softball.
Right.
The first 2 days after start, I was sore because I was
you
using
different muscles. That's
exactly as you said. So
And now you hear that you don't have your basketball kids, or they don't have the football kids out yet. They don't have.
Here's one thing that we lose to, and as far as women's sports and probably men's, and I saw ladies and men here is soccer. You can't, and these kids start playing soccer. Soccer's popular, and they start playing soccer as little ones, and they do basketball, but there seems to be a.
But it's soccer. You're able to run up and down at an earlier age. You're not having to hit a baseball or a softball. You're not having to make a basket, any of that. You run up and down. And a lot of times you see the girls excel over the boys at that age,
That's
too.
right.
I've seen a lot of that.
That's exactly right.
So you do, but I think with the travel that you have in the AAU ball, you lose your summer. You lose your friendships. You lose all of those things. Because when we grew up and graduated at Tioga in the 80s, I mean, it was a time where everybody did stuff together.
It is. And, I coached AAU travel ball.
Right.
And I'll tell you, the people that were on that team right there that's hanging up.
Right.
I had a bunch of them on my AAU team, and I remember going over to Alexandria and picking kids up at 5 a.m. They made a commitment.
That's right.
And but it was important. They came together. But it also was important because they played with kids from Peabody, from Pineville, from Ash, from Buckeye.
That's right.
And I think they enjoyed that. But there were a bunch from Tioga. I'll tell you a quick story. We were playing in the girls' gym, which I grew up in the girls' gym.
That's right.
But
you got to get through. You got to go through to get to it, too.
Do.
It's tough.
But we had the summer league, and give David Brasher a lot of credit on, and they had the team play.
I work with David. David works with me now.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, he sure does. In the city. He
Debbie and I played together when we played softball when we were young. Real quick story. I was coaching the Tioga team for the summer ball, and Buckeye had their team, and one of my kids that was playing came down, and they threw the ball around, and she had an open three, and she threw it away. She threw it, and they ended up, the next person threw the ball away, and I couldn't help myself. She's going down the court, and I said, Mallory, shoot the ball. And so then one of my players from our team was sitting next to me. So the next time down, she came around, she caught it at the top of the key, nothing but net. 3-point shot. My player, Kashif, looked at me and said, Miss Julie, coach your own team. But I couldn't help it. She was one of my kids.
No, and that's one thing that you don't lose sight of. I ran into, so I coached travel baseball with my sons growing up as well, and ran into one they're 24 years old now, and come up and it's still, hey, coach, love you, man. Hey, that's it. And well, those bonds are phenomenal. They're your kids, no matter what team they're playing on.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Getting set, boy, to get that halftime went quick there, didn't it? 20-5
It did
into
to
this
me.
one. Doug Gann alongside of Julie Wilkerson joining us here. Chuck Perkins and they're jumping.
That across-court pass we've intercepted.
We talked about it there, and KK goes to the basket. And that's what you want, that you didn't see a lot of out of Tioga's finishing off on those, and that was a great steal. And finishing that off was Caitlin. We'll get.
And Caitlin had the good sense to keep running down the court and getting ahead.
And this time she returns the favor and gets it right back to Troquill. Troquill will be honored tonight. We know you're in to see that as well. How cool is it that these players scoring 1,000 points in their career? That means they've played a while.
That is, and that's unbelievable. That's quite a mark. I know a lot of my kids that scored 1,000 at Louisiana College and other colleges, and that's quite a feat.
3-ball up and no good. KK's there to pull that back and down. All right, we'll get into a little bit of that Louisiana Tech. I know that's such a big part of your life on there. Playing with Coach Barmore, Coach Hogue, it was just a great time. And that program hadn't been around long at that point.
It had not. And there were, of course, a lot of stories going of how they had a $5,000 budget when they started in '74, and then having the Blue Goose that they traveled in and always had to push it sometimes. But they talked about the vision of F.J. Taylor, who wanted the girls program to be autonomous and not just an appendage of the men.
Lambert puts that one in. That is a 2. You've seen her shoot from just inside the line most of the night. Big 21-point lead here. So. The
ball's starting to drop.
See, and that's what happens. You start getting that. Okay, tell us about that little fire plug that was down there with you too. That's making some. Before we talk about everything else on that, I purposely try to stay away because I don't want it to be about that by any means. But
well, we're real proud of her, so we don't mind talking about every one of her teammates is very proud of Kim and what she's done. And
that shot up there, and it is good by Washington. She has been really the only spark. She's got 3 out of the 7 tonight. But, you talk about it. And, of course, Kim Mulkey is the young lady that we talk about on there. Where did you guys line up classification-wise?
She was 1 year behind me.
Okay.
She was 1 year behind me, and we actually played AAU travel ball together for Domino's out of New Orleans. And said she lived in Hammond, Tickfall actually, but I would go down and stay with her because we practiced at Tulane on the weekend, the old Tulane gym on the weekends. And so I would travel down there and then spend the weekend, or if it was 4 days, whatever, because we were practicing and working real hard. And then we had 3 years together.
Was she always as flashy?
You know what? She was not. We just talked about that last weekend or weekend before. No, that is the thing. And they'll still say, if you look, sometimes, though, when it's just press conferences or whatever, she might not have any makeup on.
Big work inside by Lockwood, and she has just been dominant, and there's not been an answer for Madison Lockwood down low. She's got 10, first player in double digits tonight.
Oh, that was a running jumper.
Right, the running one-hander there by Gaines. Her first basket of the night, and 4 after they'd scored just 5 in the first half alone to Graham. But,
one of the things I noticed when you put that much pressure on and when you get back, you've got to get back and get organized, and it sometimes is hard because they are pressuring so much on the front end of the court.
And look, you see that more and more. Good work inside to Lambert and finishing it off. And this is, we talked about the baskets again, and it's over not falling in that first half. They're just feeling each other out. It was a little tight. And now they're just losing their play. And there's a 3-ball, first one of the game.
And she changed.
Goodness.
She changed defenses, I think. She's trying to work on a few things with this lead, and I think that's an important thing because, I think that you take an opportunity to work on things that you may need down the line.
Very, very good point. Now you are here locally now with. Your job as an attorney keeps you in town, is that right?
That's exactly right, yes.
How close do you stay to this Tioga program?
I try to stay close.
3 balls from downtown. That is KK that got that one. So the threes are starting to fall here. Anyway, back to it. Your time that you're able to spend with the programs.
I try to stay involved. I love the game of basketball, and I'm very proud of my alma mater here. And Debbie and I coach together, and I've known her for a long time, so I don't get to as many as...
That's back-to-back threes now as KK is starting to heat things up. She's got 8 here in the third quarter alone.
I think I mentioned the ball was going to start. You got to keep shooting it, though. If you don't have an opportunity if you don't shoot.
Look,
that was good defense, too. She went to the basket and filled in. So
you hear the term moving without the ball. Talk a little bit about that because we've seen that on display by these lady and by both squads tonight.
And it's so important because the most dangerous person on the field on the court is the one that just got rid of the basketball, and they should be moving. When you pass that ball, you got to watch because they're moving, and that's the one that we've always said in defense that's the one that's the most dangerous.
How aggravating is it to you as a coach if the shooter goes up and gets their own rebound on a long-range shot? It's pretty aggravating.
Yeah. Yes.
They'll, you sit there and get flat-footed on defense, and, well, Coach Barmore wouldn't put up with that, would he?
No, he would not. And rotating down on your offside, you better be there before. You better get to that block.
So you said you and Coach Johnson are going to coach a little. What are y'all going to do?
Well, we coached, here, and then my job makes it harder now to be able to do anything because
isn't that terrible that gets our day jobs get in the way of things?
It's a shame,
That's right.
But I love my job, and so I look.
Case in point, that's just look. I can tell you, we been calling them a lot of years, and I think it drives Chuck crazy when we do that. But yeah, it's the game inside the game. That's Washington picking up the foul there. She'll be whistled for it. That's her first correction. That's her second personal foul.
Well, I think it's outstanding that y'all do this, and I know the tribe that I work with helped sponsor the Gina video that they did live stream last year.
Speaking of your job, I work closely with a guy that works a lot out there with you guys, Scott Gaspard.
Yes.
I talked to him a couple of times today. As a matter of fact, he's a lot of fun.
He is, and we've known each other a long time. Didn't it make sense when he was the building superintendent for the building facility that we did? And so what makes sense, you get the person that was the building superintendent, you have him as your facilities manager.
And you come do that.
I think that was pretty smart.
Yep. And so
that one had a little too much English on it that she shot from a three-pointer.
So
those are always frustrating too. They're just almost, you think you were robbed on that one.
Whistle that on Troquill. So you guys are going to be in our Mardi Gras parade coming up in a couple of weeks too.
Yes.
First time that we've had you out there in that one in a number of years. So great to see you back out there. Are you going to ride the float?
I try always to get on that float.
Do you need some help? Because I know a guy.
I know.
Look, I'm going to tell you this, Coach. If you can't get on that one, you can come right on the cities, and we'll have you on that one, too.
I would love to be on there. You've got some fine people on there.
Well, February 2nd, you're in,
and
for sure.
And usually my friend Judge Hayes is on there, too. So
Spoke to Judge Hayes.
He was our tribal judge.
Okay.
Until he retired from that. And so he's I'm trying to get him on our appellate court.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Wonderful to talk to. Their office right there next to City Hall where we are. That shot up and no good. Going to go to the line. The foul is whistled there. Okay, so you look at they whistled out on Abby, and that's back-to-back fouls that she's picked up. Now give her 2 on there. A game like this, you're opening in district, 23-point lead. I know it's a game of runs, but what do you work on here as a coach from the Grant side of it?
I've been in this situation a little bit with AAU travel ball. We had Central Louisiana. A lot of times we were playing in Houston and we were playing teams, from Baton Rouge. And the key is you set goals and you say, okay, we scored these many points the first half and they scored this number of points. Let's hold them to this many, and let's not look at the score from the standpoint of necessarily. Let's just let's make sure that we block out, that we work on our game, and not look at the score of how many we're behind. Look at, we're going to hold them to these. We're going to make this.
There you go.
And so,
and you build now. You start working on it. But again, you start taking it in chunks. So, all right, it's a 23-point lead. Let's get it down to about 18, and then start working to get it to 10. And you do that. And if you're Tioga, you don't drop a beat. And look, there's KK. Just she's had as good of a third quarter as we've seen in this, and she may just jump in there in the running for that player of the game. Oh, Nick with a beautiful pass inside.
That was good post play.
Brandy
Getting
Page.
it up top and then somebody breaking to the ball. That was a great assist. I saw where April Reese had 7 assists along with her double-double, but she was looking for her other players, and that's a key. You have, and I think Kim said after, we've got so many that can shoot the ball and it can score. You got to pass it around some, and
you saw the struggles they had early in the year. No, they didn't have struggles.
Well, they did.
Because but the game inside the game, they did.
Yes.
One player dismissed or is no longer with the team there. Angel, of course, had her troubles that she had, but they continue to just grind on there. How close do you get down there? Do you get to go see any of those? Do you stay in contact with Kim?
I try to watch. Oh, we do stay in touch, and my teammate Janice
another good
Lawrence,
pass inside of
that was a
Lockwood.
good one, and I think they called the foul
They
too.
did right before she was able to
She
get
almost
there.
made it a 3-point play too. So, I have a thread with Pam Kelly and Angela Turner and Janice Lawrence. Pam and Janice were Margaret Wade Trophy winners, which is a Heisman of women's basketball.
Well, okay.
Angela's in the Louisiana Hall of Fame.
I'll
both
show
of those.
off too. I have one with Chuck and my guys. So there you go.
And we have Debbie Primo Williamson, who is works with the NCAA, and she does the officiating, instruction.
That's
and
great.
She travels all over. So I'm putting a plug in. I hope she'll be one of my next. She was my roommate, my teammate. Be one of my next that gets in a Louisiana Hall of Fame induction because she is just outstanding. Dr. Debbie Primo Williamson, who played basketball and softball at Bell City.
Well, we have all of our broadcasts are recorded, and that one is going to the basket as Dishmont. So we'll chop that up and we'll make our plug for it as well. 41-15 as we near the end of the third. It has been an explosive period for the Lady Indians as they put up 20 points here in the third alone. And you talked about, but it wasn't just that the shots were falling. It's the shots that they were making were in transition, and they were playing loose, and they were playing within themselves. And that came out of the half that way.
That's exactly right, Doug. You're correct. And the key is they kept themselves in a good ball game by creating turnovers and giving themselves the opportunity to score. So
your day job is there, but you've got all the thread that you talked about, the connections all around there. Well, when 5 o'clock comes, the 9 to 5 is over with. I know your day just starting, it seems like.
It does. And my daddy told me a long time ago that you're the professional. It's you get there early, you leave late, and one is don't leave before your boss leaves.
But you,
I walked out with mine today. So, and that is Janice Lawrence, who is a Margaret Wade Trophy on the left, and Angela Turner, who, if they'd had the 3-point shot, she would definitely have been one of the leading scorers in the nation. Because she was quite a scorer from Saline High School and is in the Louisiana Hall of Fame. And in the middle
Saline,
is Debbie.
That's something, yeah.
I know. My freshman year, we actually started two seniors. No, I mean two sophomores and 3 freshmen because
Wow.
we lost Eleanor Griffin to a knee injury, and we had lost a bunch of seniors from that team before. So from the 79 to 80 team was made up of mostly young players.
So you graduated from Tioga in what year?
79.
79. Okay. So then off to Louisiana Tech, and part of that, just a great career. Man, if the focus there would have been like there is the WNBA now, or the opportunities to it, would it speak to the opportunities that women have nowadays?
It would. And even then, I saw some video footage of Janice Lawrence, who didn't have the opportunity to play in the WNBA. She graduated. He wasn't there, playing in Europe. And
Yeah.
she had some outstanding plays.
Lambert has found her range from there. She had 4 in the third, and now her first basket here, 43-15, courtesy of the Wallace Eye Associates scoreboard there at the top. But you have that opportunity. I saw the Globetrotters play a couple of times, and a great novelty that they are. Have a couple of females that are playing with that as well. So I mean, it's just,
I got
it's
to
great.
guard one of the ones that the first one, and she was playing at University of Kansas, Woodard, Lynette Woodard, and she was. I realized I was in trouble when I was guarding her when she went up for her jump shot, and I was looking at her knees.
Oh,
and
gosh.
so I said, "Oh, this is going to be a long time when I'm out here guarding her."
All right, so if you've got one story, if it's a Tech story, if it's a Tioga story, whatever, I got to think it has something to do with that time at Tech, just the great folks that you were around. Let me have that one shining moment, if you can push it all into one.
That's hard, but I could, along the same lines, if I can tell, along the thread is.
Look, you're fine. Let's have it.
We beat Southeastern. I think it was 104 to 52. I think at our gym, and the boys played. We didn't have doubleheaders. That was one thing that, again, President
right.
Taylor said, y'all aren't going to be an appendage of the boys. We want you to have your own. So we had the early game, and it was a Saturday, and we won,
Right.
by a lot. And I will say they had Robin Roberts, so she was a fine player. And but they had a good team. But we didn't play quite like Coach Barmore wanted us to, and so after the boys played, we got to come back and practice,
my.
even though with that victory. And then we beat USC to win our first championship when it was the semifinal game at the Final Four, and that was 1980 to 1981. We won it in 81.
But now that was when it switched over, and you guys didn't lose a game in that one.
We did not.
And then the next year you came around, you lost the one. And turn around and got your ring some 35 years later in a game where they were playing.
That's exactly right.
So I have to research. That's one thing. I couldn't shoot, but I can research.
Well, you did a great job on that because this ring, I wear mine. I'm one of the ones. I wear both my rings.
Look, I've noticed them. They're
and you
great.
know what? Kim has put us back on the map with, not that we were ever really off. People remember what the Lady Texters did, and y'all had a really good team. But Kim's put it right back out there for us, and so I'll see more people that I've gotten where I want to say, well, my teammate, I have to brag on my teammate. She's put us back on and done a great job in just 2 years at LSU, and but
the pressure was on Brian Kelly this year with what Jay Johnson did and what Kim did. Yeah, that was.
Yes.
And look, that was the first question he got in the press. We were in the press conference with him, and that was the first. He said, "Let me just tell you right now that I don't fall for that." So, pressure's on for Tiger fans.
When we played at Eugene, Oregon, and we had to play in the semifinal, USC, and they had Cheryl Miller and they had the McGee twins. They didn't have Cynthia Cooper yet, but we beat them. But Coach Palmore again didn't care for the way that and he was mad at us, and he said, "I don't care if you go feed them. I don't care if they eat. This is ridiculous." And he left the dressing room. He's been known to kick a chair or two, and Ted Parker, our bus driver, was mad about it, and he said, Dr. Taylor gave me his credit card, and we are going to take these ladies to a night. But we had to perform. It didn't matter if you won. It was the level.
It was the way that you did it.
It was the level of performance. But I have a lot of people ask what was the key to your success? Well, we did have we had great coaching. We had some outstanding players, but we liked each other.
That's right.
We enjoyed each other's company, and when we traveled, I was watching to see who a good rebound underneath.
Yeah, these girls have not stopped playing
no, they
at
haven't.
all.
And Grant hasn't either. Give them credit. That was a good drive.
No, that's right. Both sides of it. She goes coast to coast with it.
Yes.
Pepper does a great job. She had the 3 earlier in the third quarter there.
And that wasn't bad defense either, I don't think.
Not at all.
She got a little low, but that was good defense.
It is good to see. And how important is this?
And they're kind of letting them play right now because I think that was probably if it were a close game, they would have called a foul on that. She did get on her arm or some.
You see some of these younger players starting to get their way into the game, but how important is it to stay out there and be on the floor with the Troquill and these others and not just put 5 young players out there that don't play a lot in there? You've got some seniors that are leading the way with them.
That is a good opportunity for them because you've got a senior leadership who has, played longer and done, and they can probably be instructing a little bit even, and it's not. Although the second team probably plays a lot together.
Well, they're playing against this first team in practice, and that's what
right.
makes them so good is that they're playing against such a solid team. Boy, Troquill goes to the basket, and the little running one-hander doesn't go. Board not there, but that's going to send Richardson to the line to shoot a pair. Well, it's great to see that you're still so involved with all of it. Look, there's another great picture there that's on the screen.
That's Venus Lacey, who we didn't play together, but I tell you what, she's just an outstanding person and individual coach. She coaches high school at high school in Chattanooga. She was an Olympian, Olympic gold winner, gold medal winner, and I think she won the Margaret Wade Trophy also, but quite sure an All-American, and played in the WNBA.
Right.
And so she's been on a couple of the 30-on-30s. They've done a few things on her, but she was so couldn't speak enough about. I said, I introduced her, and she said, I know who you are.
Isn't that cool?
You're the reason that we were able to do what we did because y'all paved the way. Y'all were the ones that.
How does it make you feel?
It made me feel really, because I mean she's accomplished so much. She accomplished so much as a player and now as a coach. And when people like that, you go,
Yeah.
I will tell you, my playing time went down when Kim came. We already had Jennifer White as a point guard. Kim came as a point guard, but I played a lot of 3 then and.
Boy, that's good defense there.
Oh, that was.
But right back, see, they just don't quit on these plays. A lot of times you'll see the guys basketball is about the worst of it. If they get a play, they're done. They're giving up on it.
You can't ever stop.
No.
You can't. And everybody was moving down the court there, even her teammates, and you see it a lot of times in football if somebody's hustling too.
Yep.
I mean, I like to watch all sports. And that's Coach Brooke Lassiter-Storer. She was a lady texter and played for Coach Ballmore's last year, and Kim was an assistant coach. And now she's coached with at Texas Tech. She was the head coach at Northwestern State University, and we stole her away. I teased Doug Ireland. We'll send
Doug's another great guy.
Oh, isn't he a good guy?
Yeah.
He's one of my dear friends, and it's hard. We consider us mid-majors, and it's gotten harder. But I think she's doing an outstanding job. When we had the reunion weekend before last, it was 1,200. We were where we joined a very small group of women's programs. We are in the 5 that can say there's 1,200 wins in a program. So.
And how many? 5?
1,200.
No, but how many of those
How many
teams?
5?
They
didn't tell us which 5. I want to know which 5. I guess I might be able to guess some, but
look, I'll research that for you too. I'll
You're
go
good.
back
You're
and
good.
we'll go back and do that. Look, it's a couple of minutes to go in this one, and just delighted that you were able to join. I will tell you this: there's always a headset that's got your name on it.
You promise?
Yeah, without a doubt. Look,
You got to give me a review, though. Send me a few pointers.
I'm
going to
go back and I'm going to critique. I'm going to watch game film after this is over with and see how it is. But we made a focus.
We were just starting to do that when I was playing at Tech. Boy, the game film doesn't lie. You can say, "Oh no, I didn't do that." And it's kind of like that red flag they have.
The challenge flag. That's
challenge flag
I'm glad they don't throw a challenge flag on what I do in my broadcast. Going coast to coast, and that's just, that is a nice trip up and down the floor by Gaines. You know, you a lot of times you'll see folks that get too far into the basket or they try to shoot, but that was perfect. It's how you're supposed to do it.
That is, or somebody who doesn't want to shoot a left-handed layup, you got to get. Or dribble with the left hand.
So you talk about the progression of basketball, and I'll get back to about our spot.
I would like to say real quickly, if you don't mind. You probably know one of my mentors is Gene Rushing, and I had the opportunity.
Phenomenal.
I think one of the reasons I started here at Tioga as a freshman, and I think I was a second team All District. And it was because my mom was going to Louisiana College, and she said something about morning classes during the summer and classes from 8 to 1, and could my daughter come over? Would you work with her? He's like, I've heard of this before. But I got to go all summer, and he took me under his wing. And
there you go.
Yes. That's Coach Balmore and Miss Hogue, of course. And there's Janice Lawrence and AT and Debbie and me. And that was a fine. We had got to visit with and hear Coach Balmore and Miss Hogue, and she talked about how the program got started and how she got Coach Balmore over there.
Well, what an all-time win that was, getting him out there. It just did so much for the program, too. You know, one thing that we've tried to do, Julie, is we're starting to cover more and more female sports on there, softball, girls basketball, because I think the guys get a little bit more of the publicity. And we cover we did 120 broadcasts during the football season. It was all guys the rest of the time. But I say that as much as I can. You're welcome anytime that we do a game on there. And we do a number of them. We cover a lot of Oak Hill. Chuck covers a lot of Tioga. We'll do some Menard and a lot of different things. And having the stories and the folks at home, if they get mad, and I'll say this to my folks that are listening tonight. Yes, we didn't talk a lot about this game that was going on, but that's okay. That's what the beauty of video. Anybody can do TV. Anybody can do this. This is like the old radio days where we're able to talk about it. But these games are archived on YouTube, so you'll be able to go back and watch your game film tonight. Drives my wife crazy because I'll go home and rewatch the game. She's like, really? I was like, well, yeah, I guess so. But you do have.
And of course, we wouldn't want to not. If it's a much closer game,
That's correct.
And not to say, because I have to take my hat off to Grant. They
never quit.
They have not quit, and give the coach credit. I was trying to see if I recognized. I don't know that I know the coach at Grant, but see, they have continued, and they'll have things to work on and go back. And then Coach Johnson's going to be fine tuning. With there's
a free ball. Look at the youngster getting out there too, and what a moment that is.
Our teammates are so happy for her.
Look, you're getting into the game late on there, and it go out and you hit a 3 ball.
That's a good-looking shot.
What would y'all have done with a 3-point?
Oh, it would have made a difference, and a smaller basketball.
But it's not like you guys didn't dominate out there in the first place. So it almost, they might would have stopped and said, look, we're no more of this.
Part of our philosophy was inside, outside, though. So you wanted, and our centers didn't dribble down the court, that's for sure. The 5 4s or 3s had to get the ball to the guards.
Last question. What did it make you feel like, or did you have any concern over there when you saw the first dunk in a game out of there, too? Isn't that great?
I thought it was wonderful, yes. And since then, there have been
a lot of them. Yeah, they work on it, but the athletes have just gotten bigger and faster and stronger nowadays. And that training from long range, not going to do it, and that will wrap this one up. I know I can't thank you enough for taking the time to visit with us in this one, and I mean that. Get your number when this is done, but you've got a spot here, any broadcast
I
that we do.
appreciate it. That means that I didn't do too badly.
You did.
and
You
so-
did wonderful. Look, you didn't make one. Chuck normally does the games with me, and I have to fight through the jokes with him. He's the dad joke champion of the world out here. So
Y'all
yeah,
are doing a great thing.
Thank
and
you.
have started a great thing. And I'm sorry I took Chuck's.
No, I'm not. I'm not. It's fine. It's. Look, the Tioga folks that are watching this aren't going to know what to think, but I will say out of the three of us, only 2 are Tioga graduates. So, Chuck, I'm sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, they're going to wrap up and do this. Coach Julie Wilkerson, Tioga alumni,
Thank you, Doug.
Louisiana
I
Tech
appreciate it.
superstar, and just there you go. Look, you get a little time back
Hey,
on here.
This is
too.
what I do. I put my rings up
yes.
so that. Sorry. I will tell you quickly that on Friday we had a meeting with the Secretary of the Department of Interior came to visit at Gina Choctaw in Trout, Louisiana, and I said something. She noticed my rings, and she said she kind of asked about it, and I said, "Oh yeah, national championship rings." And she said, "Can I see that?" And I said, "Boy, I took them off and had it." And she made such a. This is really nice, and so I'm kind of proud of them. We worked hard, but we worked as a team.
How long did it take you to get the national championship ring?
32 years for the national championship. It was worth the wait. And they tell me that they didn't give them to men either, so,
right, so
I'm
it's
going to
okay.
take it that it was in the other one we got right soon after because we the school got those.
I got you. Well, it's phenomenal. We're going to turn it back over and listen to what is the 1,000-point ceremony, and we'll pause and step back and let that happen there. And then we'll pick up the broadcast when we're done. But, Julie, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you
Doug.
again
All
soon.
right.
All right.
Tell my friends over at City of Pineville I said hello.
I'll do that. And tell my buddy Scott I said hi when
I
you
will.
see him.
I'm going to see him tomorrow.
There you go. That's phenomenal. You did amazing.
Testing. All right, if I can have your attention at this time. At this time, we would like to recognize Abby Tropwell for reaching 1,000 points in her career. Abby reached the milestone in December at the Dina tournament. Abby has been a 4-year starter for the Lady Indians basketball team and softball team. Congratulations, Abby, on your accomplishment.
Chuck, pull that ambiance mic down. That ambiance mic. The ambiance mic, take it out. There you go. Sitting here courtside post game with Miss 1,000. How about that? Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great game today. You guys started a little bit slow, but I
Yes,
think
sir.
it was a lot of defense there. You come out of that second half, and I don't know what Coach Johnson told you, ladies, but it was on.
Yes, sir. She just told us that we're not playing our game, and we really weren't. We were kind of going down to their level, and then the one quarter, we scored 20-something points.
Yep.
So we came out ready to get at everything, start playing our game.
You've played your game a lot throughout your career that you've been here, and that's testament to getting the poster that shows 1,000 points. Take me through a little bit through your career and what it means for what you're leaving here at Tioga.
Well, I'm going to be honest. The first 2 years here, it was really, really hard. We were very young, had maybe one senior our freshman year. So I tried to play my best through my first 2 years, tried to score as many as I could. I tried to lead as best as I could. Junior year, we started picking it up really well, and we scored. We played very well, I think. We played way better than our first 2 years. We were starting to be really a team.
Started to gel a little bit more.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so senior year, my goal's always been to hit 1,000 for my high school career. So senior year, I knew I could get there, so I just pushed myself until I hit 1,000, and I think we are an amazing team this year.
There's no doubt about it, and looking forward to we talk oftentimes about seniors that are here and the legacies that they will leave. A lady that you're very familiar with, Julie Wilkerson, that was here with us, that left she's got 2 national championship rings from Tech. How does it make you feel knowing that you're part of that tradition here?
I am very honored. I love all these girls. I love Tioga. I love Coach Johnson. She has helped me with my basketball career so much. I love being a part of Tioga, and I love being an Indian. It's just such a family here, and I just love being a part of it.
When you see some of the younger players like Dishman that's there, what do you try to impart on some of the younger ones, knowing that, hey, look, you know what, I'm leaving, so it's your turn to be the future of it? What do you try to leave to those young ladies?
I try to tell my girls to just work as hard as they can, push themselves as hard as possible. We have very talented freshmen, and once our seniors leave, I feel like they could step up. So in practice, I just try to make sure that they're being pushed to their best abilities, and I'm just trying to make sure, or trying to gel them into another team that's coming up.
Well, you're doing a great job of it.
Thank
The
you.
way that they played with the chemistry out there, that second half, there was a lot more assists, a lot more dishing of the ball, and it seemed like you did come out and play like Coach Johnson had implored you ladies to play.
Yes, sir, we did. I feel like definitely that second half we played way up in our level.
Right.
So.
Well, we talked during the game about you when we were talking about the ceremony after it was over with, and talked about the smile that you had when we started talking about Southern Miss and
Yes.
that commitment. Tell us about that real quick. I know it's basketball season,
Yes.
and we'll talk to you more in softball, but that's pretty special.
Yes, sir. It's always been my dream to go and play college ball. Since I was a kid, me and my dad, we worked on and off the field, just trying to get there. And December of my junior year, I ended up committing. I love the people there. I love the coaches there. They're really amazing. I'm just really excited to be there and play ball.
Well, we're excited about watching the rest of this season, your softball season, and following your career. Abby Troquil, 1,000 points, honored tonight, a big district win tonight over Grant. Thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There you go. Abby Troquil joins us here. We're going to talk to Coach Johnson in just a moment. And we told you just all smiles off the court, on the court. Don't get in their way. She's a bulldog. She will get after you there. And Coach Johnson makes her way down and visiting with a victorious Lady Indian Coach Johnson, and we keep Jay out of the. I know that's it's always like they're just there where it's at. But great win tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you. We came out a little slow. Did much better the second half. I think we hadn't practiced in 3 days, so I think that hurt us some, but. It is what it is.
we asked Abby that same question, and we're one thing we're not going to do is just throw the fluff questions out there.
Right.
And we asked her, so what changed at halftime? She said, well, Coach Johnson said it was time for us to start playing Lady Indian basketball and do our thing. And
Yes.
and you saw her eyes light up, and you could see it on the team. A lot more assists, a lot more dishing, a lot more movement up and down the floor.
Right.
They played like we're expecting to see you guys play.
Right. Yes, they did. They came out the second half. I think they third quarter they got 6 points real quick. Ended up with 21 in the second quarter, I believe, and
Yep.
only scored 20 in the first half.
That's right.
Just sluggish. I mean, anytime you've had that much time off, you're going to be sluggish. But we got it back together there in the second half.
You know, a lot of tradition around Tioga, seeing Troquil get the 1,000 points and on that. Had Julie sit in with us tonight,
Right.
and the folks when she joined us there midway through the second quarter, and the second, we didn't describe a lot of the play-by-play as it went on.
Right.
Just her stories of Tioga and her stories of coming back and coaching with you and
Yes.
coaching around here.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes, Julie came back and helped me for a few years. You know, she was a great player, All-American here at Tioga, and there is a lot of history here. You know, I'm coaching some of the grandkids of the parents that have, grandparents that have played here that were on a state runner-up team, I believe. You know, there's just a lot of tradition here with girls basketball at Tioga High School, and Julie's a big part of that. You know, like I said, she was an All-American, and
Right.
you know, she came back and helped us. And
When you walk around with 2 national championship rings too, that doesn't hurt things.
yeah, no, you're right. And the bad thing, I'm kind of telling her age, I guess, is she was a lady texter when I was in high school, and I can remember going to basketball camps and her being there, and you know, that I followed the lady texters growing up. You know, that was
How could you not? I mean, that's what you did.
You're right, and they were, you know, they were really good, and that was where I went to camp, and we went and watched Louisiana Tech, where, you know, now, you know, the kids want to go watch LSU.
That's right. Yeah, we had good conversations with her about that flashy
Right.
head coach that they have down there too.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. All right, so district going to play big district win tonight, and we'll a couple of more questions for him. We'll let you get out of here. What is the district shaping up? I know it's early on in it too.
Yeah.
But Lady Indians are playing well.
Franklin Parish, you know, their record's not good, but they're a good team. They played some good teams. They played the Rustons and the West Monroes. You know, and we got to go to Franklin Parish Friday night. You know, we got to step on the floor ready to play from the very beginning. Neville's good. You know, Franklin Parish, Neville, and us all have everybody pretty much back from last year. I don't think Franklin Parish had any seniors. And then Neville may have had one, but they had a really good freshman last year coming back.
But Neville is what Neville is. I mean, they're just always going to be there around it. No matter what sport that it is, they're always going to come out there. And then before they make their move up to 5A, they're going to come out there and they're going to give everything they got.
Yeah, they're going to be competitive. You know, and last year we were in all those games, lost by like 4 or 3, you know, against the Franklin Parish and Devils. So, you know, I hope, you know, we got to come out and play. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Well, Coach Johnson, we thank you and congratulations on the big win tonight
thank you.
on the area around here and celebrating the 1,000 points.
Yes.
And we look forward to that run that the Lady Indians are going to make.
Thank you.
There you go. There you go. Victorious night for the Lady Indians. Again, thank you to Abby Troquil that stopped by. And, of course, a big shout-out to Julie Wilkerson for stopping in and doing some of the game with them. For my man, Chuck Perkins, I am Doug Gann. God bless you all, and good night from the reservation.